Welcome back to Sunrise Daily, where we are turning our attention to football-related matters. As you did see in the welcoming slide, we've got Pinnick, who is the president of the Nigeria Football Federation. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Thank you for having me. It's a privilege, very rare one.
Yeah, so now that the case is over, we can say that. It must be, I mean, what was the entire process like? Because at the time, there were different things flying all over the place. But getting to this stage, well, yes, you must be relieved. But what does that mean for you?
What does it mean for Nigeria football? You know, if you don't mind, certainly I don't think I want to delve into that terrain, you know, at all. Because, again, I would say football is a winner. Because there's no winner, there's no victor, there's no vanquished here, you know. The NFF, we've always maintained our innocence in all of this, and we believe that we are not a perfect organization, but our pursuit for excellence, you know, we got the Congress to approve companies that have very tall image, you know, PwC, financial derivatives, to work with us in terms of fiscal discipline, transparency, and probity. And proudly I can say that Nigerian Football Federation happens to be one of the only few federations in the world that have its account published in the FIFA website. You can Google it and check it out. So, like I said, I don't want to dwell on that because, you know, I'm a Christian. You know, Romans 8:28, it says clearly, everything worketh together for good for those that love them. And also the Bible, Matthew 5:44, it says clearly that love your enemies, pray for your enemies, and those that persecute you. So we don't want to go into all those. We're forgiving them, and I want to believe they are forgiving us. Let us work for united Nigeria. Let us work. Let us stay focused and take our discussion to the next level, which of course is a matter of
development. Let the pastor come in too.
While all of that is given and taken, Mr. Pinnick, you would agree that it was a major distraction.
It was.
Something needs to be done to ensure it doesn't happen again.
Yeah, it was a major distraction. But like I said, I wake up every morning praying to God to forgive me and also forgive everybody. And that's the truth. So I don't want to go into all those things. And again, also look at it. It's not that some people just hate you. No. It's a reflection of the love they have for the football. It's the intensity of that love. So people ventilate it in various ways. So that's why I don't believe, like what fella said, water not get enemy. I don't have enemies, and that is my nature. As I'm here now, our focus is 2022 World Cup. That I can tell you. Our focus, because look at the team that we have. We have a very young, enterprising team. People here say we focus mainly on the Super Eagles. You know, that's our flagship team. You know, and even though we want to do same for the other national teams, we have 11 national teams. If Super Eagles is our focal point, the same way you have in so many other countries.
Super Falcons too.
Super Falcons, of course. Of course, it's the most successful team in the world, but you must have a focus. You must have a flagship. And the Super Eagles is our flagship from time immemorial. It's not today. But the truth is, our focus is to build. We've seen that our players, our young players, can do very, very well in the world stage. They played against Argentina. They beat Argentina. They drew against the almighty Brazil. They almost went away with a win against Ukraine. They played against Poland, played against England. We are playing the top teams. So why can't we aspire? Now, Nigeria in the Olympics, we have won bronze, we have won silver, we have won gold. In the under 17, 5 times champion. Regret, I take responsibility for us not going beyond this round. But again, that is football. We have to think of how to manage expectations in this country. We have to look at under 17 as a developmental league. We want to win as a developmental championship. We want to win. We definitely want to win and say we won it 6 times. But again, we should also know that it's football. Look at Netherlands.
Yeah.
Netherlands defeated Nigeria. They were third in their group. They were at a point of going home. But last night they defeated Paraguay. They're in the semi-finals. So people should understand the dynamics and the theatrics
of Netherlands, if you look at Netherlands football, I mean, they have a very famed football academy.
Yeah.
You go there, the very basics and rudiments. When you talk about Netherlands, they have that template. What is ours in the country?
Yeah, you see, what we're doing, if you look at some of the players that made up this under 17, came from our ranks. We've monitored them from the under 13. You should understand we have the Zenith Bank under 13, under 15 tournament. And most of these players came from that rank. And we're not just going to say after the tournament, no, they are not leaving. We are keeping them. We are keeping these players because they are going to form the bulk of the. Yes, we have it. We have all those things. Listen, we are not going. We are just going to be doing plus and minus depending on your form. Where we're going to keep them is a developmental. We won this tournament 5 times. Like I said, I take responsibility. I apologize. But again, it's football, it's sports. Anything, it can tilt anyway. If you look at when we went to the last AFCON, Morocco was the favorite to win the AFCON, but they exited in the second round. Egypt. So it's football. No matter how you prepare, anything can happen. And that's it. When we won our first 2 games, people were really congratulating me that you're in the finals of the under-17. But again, it's football. But like I said, on our part, we try to give all the teams wonderful preparation. The Super Falcons, for example, they played 9 matches leading to the World Cup. 9 friendly games. Never in our history have we had this kind of preparation. They went to the World Cup, they came back. Now they didn't qualify for the Olympics. We take responsibility. It's not because we don't want them to qualify, but we saw from the preliminary technical report we've seen, there was fatigue. If you look at South Africa that we went to the World Cup too, they also did not qualify. So it's not that we are giving excuses. We really want to build Nigerian football. We want to nurture football to that height.
Yeah. But I'm just wondering, sorry to jump in. Some of those countries you also mentioned, I think in South Africa too, they're trying to change they want to have an identity. In their leagues, they usually focus on the speed and the fitness of some of those players, your ability to play on the front foot all the time. If you talk about Spain, you know how to play. So are we developing something like that so that at every grade level, both the male and female, when a coach comes in to coach Nigeria, this is the way Nigeria plays or wants to play, develop us along this line. Set pieces, notwithstanding, goalkeeping. So those are the areas that...
If you look at Ganadrao's style of coaching, to me is multifaceted. It looks at, because we have our backroom analyst, they analyze the game, they analyze our opponent. Is the strength of, we use our strength as their weakness when we are going for all those games. Like, I was privileged to be around when they were going to play against Brazil. I was with them, I saw the analyst, I saw what they did, look at their strength, how do we do this? Do we play a mass attack? Do we compact our midfield? So it depends on who you are playing. Look, so what we try to do is to create dynamism.
I think you haven't quite responded to or addressed the 2 last questions that Chamberlain asked. You can predict, so to speak, what Brazilian football is. You can predict, so to speak, what German football is. What is our own? I think that's the first pattern.
Our style of football has always been free-flowing football, using the wings. That has been traditional, from the elastic allow style to Dobo. We've always been using the wings, because we're very fast. And you see that's what we are using with Chukwueze and Moses Simon, and even Ahmed Musa. We've always been using the wings. We use the wings, we compact the midfield, then you spread the balls. But you see, football has gone beyond that. You just look at creativity in terms of how do we approach this game. So it's dynamic. So you don't just want to approach it. Now, there are no left foot backs anymore. From the left foot back, those are wingers, because they run that flanks. That's why you have this boy, our left full back, I played Paderborn, and the right full back. They always do that stretch all the time. Then again, in answering to your first question about a developmental challenge, we have our players of monitor, but also the leagues. The league too, all the teams in the league have their junior teams, and they also have a contract with La Liga. But what we are trying to do, like this toxic atmosphere in the past, created a lot of challenges for us, created by all these kids. But thank God, by God's grace, we've gone beyond that. Now, I was privileged to be around one of the contracts that was to be signed. But again, that couldn't happen. But again, now, part of the contract they are signing is to have a developmental arrangement for all the teams. All the teams from the junior to the, like Eyimba under 15, blah, blah, blah. To complement what we are doing. Academies? No. It's not just what do we have academy? Yeah, they might have an academy. Academy is, when you say academy is not just an infrastructure where you keep players. A team, this is the main team, this is the junior team. So some people don't want to call it academy, but it's a junior team. Let me tell you, for example, Etebo came from the ranks of Warriors. They call it from the Warriors feeders. Even till tomorrow, if you see Etebo in Warriors, they call him Atharas from feeders. And that is the truth. So players like that, other players like that can also be. You see, in Nigeria, let me tell you, We have arrays of stars. But one thing that will really count for the NFF right now, I want to say, is our relationship with the ministry. Brilliant, wonderful relationship.
Which underscores something, if you don't mind me butting in, sir. Which underscores what someone said earlier today about, okay, maybe I should ask it this way. How strong is government influence on Nigeria's football?
Government is very, very keen about developing and partnering in football. Government is very, very keen. For example, the passing of the NBC code, the legislation awaiting for the NFF bill. So government has been truly, truly supportive, that I can tell you. And this minister has gone beyond what we would imagine. You know, of course, he's savvy. You should know him. 100% very cerebral, you know, robustly intelligent, God-fearing, and he's a team player. And the good news about him is every day they put us under pressure. We have a lot of correspondences. We need to explain this. We need to explain this. We need to explain this. We learn a lot from it. I give you an example. Now we're going to advertise for 4 positions in the NFF. And the minister said, Mr. President, why do you get a credible company like, you know, KPMG? I said, no, we have PwC already. Let them do it. So in the coming weeks, we'll be advertising for the head coach of the Super Falcons. We'll be advertising for the head of female football. We'll be advertising for the chief commercial director of the NFF. And also, we'll be advertising for a chief compliance officer. Because in all of this, we learned a lot of things about compliance. Now, we need a chief compliance officer in line with also what FIFA is doing right now. Because once you have the chief compliance officer, you minimize or reduce the mistakes to the barest minimum. For example, if we're going to be very vast with the Nigerian headstand rules and also vast with our statutes. So we just want to create the indulgence of Nigerians to give us, if we are straight, let them forgive us. It's not that we don't want to qualify. We've been having loads and loads of challenges. But by God's grace, I'm sure we are toiling out of that challenges to an El Dorado, which we believe everybody concerned. You know, because look at football. It takes the youth off the streets, off the creeks. It's an economic enterprise. It builds, you know, it builds the future of this country. People are talking about the league. Let me go back to the league. People are talking about the league. Let me go back to the league. The league, for example, is not just a recreational tool. It's a tool that can empower. We are trying to create a foundation with the league. Create a foundation because we don't expect the players, no matter what they earn in Nigeria, they cannot take care of all the members of their family. Now you create a solid foundation for them to live and play in Europe. When they play in Europe, they start repatriating funds back to Nigeria, to the clubs they play. And that is, even in, let me tell you something, even in Holland, some of these best leagues, Morocco, all these players, what they do is to create that enabling environment, have a solid league, and then they move. Like I told you, Ahmed Musa, Ndidi, most of these players played in Nigeria.
Infrastructure is very key.
And that is under good news.
Ministry is doing
that's under good news about the minister, because he believes he's not going to stay there forever. So what he has done is to create a solid foundation and infrastructure. The first thing he did is trying to partner companies like the individuals like Aliko in trying to build the pitches, because it's a challenge for us. Every day we have to use our personal contacts, we have to use, you know, our lifelines.
What are we doing?
In talking to some government, talking to governors, give us, you know. So, but the minister came in.
I think that is why people are clamoring for more private sector participation. That would cut down a lot on government, on dependence on government.
You see, our dream, let me tell you our dream in the Nigerian Football Federation. Our dream basically, if not for this crisis, by now would have been 100% self-funding. That would have, I'm telling you, and even trying to assist other federations. And that has been our dream. You know, but it was a major disaster for Nigerian football, that I can tell you. But we have not, we are not discouraged. We believe we can also do it. I also tell you about we've also discussed about the Under-20 Female World Cup that Nigeria is supposed to be hosting. Now, the NFF, the ministry, we've been interfacing with FIFA for the past few weeks. We've had a lot of exchanges in terms of correspondence. FIFA has been very generous, very magnanimous. Even though they've announced the host for 2021, they just kept silent, trying to give us a lot of opportunity, a lot of privileges in terms of developing our infrastructure.
Are we still running?
No, that's what I'm saying. So now what we did was, okay, let us present, since in FIFA, there was called the carry the charge, the condition of hosting. They reduced the condition of hosting to say, okay, let it be a one city stay. We don't know if it's going to be Lagos, but likely, we don't know if it's going to be Delta, we don't know if it's going to be Uyo. Just give us 2 stadia. Give us 10 training sites, 8 for the teams and 2. So if you look at it, now in terms of medical, we are good to go, we're 100%. In terms of security, we are good to go. But in terms of those infrastructure, so we need to look at doing a reality check. This tournament is supposed to be just after the Olympics, which is around August. Can we do it? Is it realistic? They've given us a lot of opportunities. But if you look at it, when you say 8 infrastructure, we have definitely we have challenge with funding. Very critically, we have that. We also have with this infrastructure, because 8 training sites, which means they must be ready for a test run in March.
Wasn't the Southeast going to be ready? You didn't mention them at the time.
No. They say what they did generally. I'm a member of the organizing committee of that competition. What we try to do with those junior tournaments is to reduce the condition of hosting. It's called the carry the charge. You reduce it so that countries can host. It's a developmental. FIFA sees as a developmental tournament. In fact, in the next few years, they'll be merging some of these championships. You know, in the next executive summit, we start the executive summit by next month, various executive summit, where they harmonize ideas. That's one of the dreams. That's one of something that Gianni brought to football that has really helped in enhancing the development of the game. Now, when they harmonize it, they will not come out with. They are thinking of the idea of what's called the Youth World Cup in 2021. The Youth World Cup in 2022, where you have about 48 teams spread across a couple of countries, you know. But for example, if that is going to pass, because after the executive summit, it comes to our committee, the organizing committee of our competition. Yes. We look at it, then we propose it to it goes to the FIFA Council, then it ends there. Then when it is accepted, it's a new format. The same way you are seeing VAR, it's the same thing FIFA is trying to see how best we can enhance this game.
Are we not the ones to suggest the areas that we will use? And then
no, for example, let me throw this back to you. If we're to use, let me say Lagos, for example, as the old city, we need 8 training sites for the team, 2 training sites for the coaching, for the referees, officials. We have to start regressing. We have to start doing all those things. Some are okay, but FIFA has a standard that we cannot go below. Even if you are going to put that pitch in a primary school, it must have certain standard. And that is the truth. And because of the respect FIFA has for Nigeria, they really want us to do it. But I'm telling you, with all due respect, and I'm telling you with all honesty, it will be very difficult because of the fact that we have funding challenges, we have infrastructural challenges as well. Because if, for example, today we have those 8 training sites ready, I can tell you if I would have pronounced Nigeria today, because in terms of medicals we are good. In terms of road infrastructure in some of these states that are designated is brilliant, but it goes beyond that. They are going to play on a pitch. They are going to practice on a pitch.
So it begins on those other areas, maybe the Southeast, for instance, to develop their facilities?
No, because again, you see, the beauty about it is if we don't, what the essence of organizing or hosting a tournament is 2 things: changing the narrative of the country, you know, and also help in building legacies or legacy projects.
They produce a lot of players who play. So
No. I'm not
let the governors.
I'm not going to tell you that Southeast is very key. My wife is from Southeast, so stop being emotional.
No, it's not emotional. It was a list.
No. I'm not
asking. Based on this list, why is?
I'm not telling you. I'm not telling you. You see, you can imagine what I'm saying now. If you are saying 100% ready, if you want to host this tournament today, I can tell you there's no facility in Southeast that can host it, apart from the Enyimba Stadium.
So that's what I'm saying. Let them.
Yes, there's no facility.
Let them develop.
There's no facility in the Southeast right now that can host it. You know. The Enyimba Stadium, yes, but do they have the hotels? Do they have the medicals in Aba? Do they have all those? No. So if you look at it, it goes beyond just...
Enyimba Stadium, okay, they don't have medical, but they have one of the best turf.
That's what I said. I said it complements, you know. You don't just say you have a turf, you don't have hotels, you don't have medical. What about road infrastructure leading to the stadium? The governor has been very exceptional. Okay, he's done very well. He's an Obama.
We'll come back and take a look at some more plans to develop football. Yes, it's football today, but who knows? Another sport could be tomorrow. Join us again.
our world of sports, the action never stops. It's fierce, engaging, exciting, entertaining, controversial, and sometimes frustrating. At Channel Sports, we go beyond the action on the field. We get you involved to make you the champion.
All right, this is our concluding moments now. So, are we done with FIFA now as a result of this?
Yeah, not really. We're not. In the next 7 days, we have to communicate to FIFA. We are very hopeful that FIFA truly and really is desirous of having us host this tournament, but because of those challenges, to me, reality check, I don't think it's going to be likely. But if we do not,
Well, how far away?
no. In terms of the infrastructure, in terms of the training sites, I don't think we are far gone into believing we can do it. So, but if we do not get this, I can assure Nigerians that we are definitely going to get a tournament for 2021-2022 from FIFA, because FIFA sees Nigeria as number one, even number one in the world in terms of, because we participate in all FIFA events. You can imagine them coming out with other venues, but they kept quiet about Nigeria. They respect this country a lot. So it's not, if anything goes wrong, I don't think, so we have to go back to them to tell them, based on our reality and our honesty, we don't believe right now we can meet this target, because we don't want the situation of this campaign back and forth.
So, what's happened to Gernot Rohr's contract?
Yeah, Gernot, his contract is due for renewal in June. We don't have any issues with him right now. No. We don't. Listen, the truth is, contracts are classified documents. But no. But one thing I know that we are going to pass on to him is to strengthen the clauses that domesticate Gernot himself in Nigeria and domesticate him to our leagues. And that's just it, because he needs to go around to the various, watch some of the leagues. We're not saying take a player from here and bring him to Super Eagles immediately. You can take a player and take him to the developmental.
Eze into the team. If he brings Eze into the team, we don't mind.
Which is a very easy and keep your. Well, I've been talking to him.
What's his status?
Brilliant. No. I spoke to him. I speak to him every day. I speak to his father. I speak to everybody. He's an excellent player. He loves his country. That I can tell you. But he's a young player. He wants to be given a bit of time. But I talked to his dad. I talked to him. I'll meet him soon in London. We cannot allow such a talent to go. And he even told me jokingly, he said, President, I want to be the captain of Nigeria someday. I was so excited about that. I said, why not? You play like JJ. JJ was captain, so you can be another captain. He loves his country, I don't think we want to allow that talent to go.
Let me quickly ask you this one before we sign out. What are we doing to institutionalize some of these things that you are talking about? So it's not just because one government is there or one minister is there, some things are happening. What are we doing to ensure that government in, government out, that program remains?
Listen, let me say something to you. Let's go back to the leagues now. I've encouraged them. We are talking to, at the point I met with the former chairman of the Governors Forum, Harry, and I told him I wanted to have a meeting with, if they could graciously invite me to talk, because most of these clubs are owned by governments. So what do we need to do? Because once the government leaves, the club crumbles. The government might not like football, the government likes football. So how do we continue with sustainability? The main thing is, let the government, of course, all these clubs, we know that let them take off their hands. Even because they are bringing the infrastructure, for example, their stadium, that can be developed as an equity, 20% ownership of the club, or 80%. For example, if they do it, Chamberlain will probably be a shareholder with Atland, paying 100,000. You can have 1,000 people from Owerri pay 100,000. That's like 100 million already. You are not part of the club. That's how Real Madrid is being run. It's owned by the locals. So once we are able to bring out this, no, it's not just having an academy and making money. You're thinking about making. What we are thinking about is sustainability. Once you are able to sustain that, it's simple. Let the government take off their hands, set up a machinery. 20%, they own 20%. Bring somebody on the board.
By the way, The Real Madrid Academy.
The Real Madrid
Is it
Academy,
the
I must commend
Barcelona Academy?
I must commend Wiki
Nigeria.
too. And also congratulate my brother Christopher Grange for
you
being
go.
a special advisor to, and I believe he will bring his experience to bear, you know, in that academy. So we believe anything that brings football, I'm always very excited about it.
All right, so let's not overshoot the time now because football has that temptation. But we do thank you for coming on. I'm Pinnick, the president of NFF. Thank you for coming and all the best.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
So there you go. That's the show today. Thank you for watching. Markwell, don't you just love it when we discuss football, right?
You guys are having a ball, aren't you, on a Monday morning? It's okay.
So.
Well, football, okay? That's why we're having a ball. I'm Ayo Makinde. Have a wonderful day.